So, hello, good day. This will be our next topic for sales management. And we are going to talk about the management of sales training and development. So, this is very critical. It is a critical function for any business that relies on strong sales force as it directly impacts performance and growth. So, our previous topic was about recruitment and selection, right? So we are moving on to the next phase, which is sales training and development. So let's say that na-hire na, nag-start na siya as a salesperson. So of course, you have to see to it that all of your all of your sales people have or are very much qualified when it comes to skills, right? Yung skill set nila mas maganda kung pasado sila or halos pantay-pantay sila. So that is why you have to uh, also manage this sales training or implement a sales training. So to start, let's define what sales training actually is. So it's the dedicated effort a company makes to equip its salespeople with necessary culture, skills, knowledge, and attitudes for the job. The ultimate goal is to improve their performance and effectiveness in the selling environment. This isn't just about teaching them how to close a deal. It's about a comprehensive approach to their professional development. So again, it's not only about closing a deal, but it's comprehensive overall. Parang pag sinabing comprehensive, kompleto. Okay? Moving on to the purpose. Bakit nga ba kailangan ng sales training? So, let's take a look at this one. There are many purposes. So first is it can increase customer satisfaction. When sales people are well trained, they are better equipped to meet customer needs. Of course, syempre kapag magaling sila, mas madali nilang mapunan yung mga customer needs mga customer needs. So, may tendency na mas effective sila na mag-close ng deal or magkaroon ng sales, ba? It also helps in developing future leaders, as training can help salespeople grow into management roles. Syempre, when they're really very good, syempre susunod na sila sa yapak mo, 'di ba? Magiging manager na rin sila. Ikaw naman baka from 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 team leader or from a sales manager, baka magiging unit manager ka na. Marami ka nang hinahandala na sales manager kapag mas gumaling ka pa. So, ganun yun. Also, for new hires, it's crucial for orienting them to their job responsibilities. Siyempre, una sa lahat, lalo na sa mga wala pa, mga newbies, alam dapat nila kung ano yung mga responsibilities, roles and responsibilities nila as a salesperson. Pati mga do's and don'ts, 'di ba? Mga company policies, very important 'yan. And also, training also improves knowledge in key areas like product details, company information, and competitor analysis. Also, from a business perspective, it helps lower absenteeism and turnover, keeping your team stable. And finally, it positively influences attitudes and boosts job satisfaction among the sales team. Siyempre kasi kapag pag absent ng isang empleyado, malamang hindi siya feeling niya hindi siya well-equipped or hindi siya masaya sa trabaho niya. And one of the factors na dahil hindi ka masaya sa trabaho mo ay dahil hindi mo alam ang ginagawa mo. Sino ka ba naman, 'di ba, parang nakakaano na mukha kang tanga na hindi mo alam ang pinagagagawa mo dun sa trabaho mo, right? So, very important na dapat well-equipped ang isang salesperson, 'no? Pagdating sa mga skills na 'yan, skill set na 'yan. Moving on to next one, uh, continuing, okay? Here's the continuation. It helps in lowering overall selling costs. It's a key way to keep your salespeople informed about new products or changes. It also provides a two-way street for communication, allowing managers to obtain valuable feedback from the salespeople. And of course, a primary purpose is to increase sales for a specific product or in a particular customer category. So as you can see, the benefits of effective sales training are extensive and impact every part of the sales organization. So, moving forward, no, sa ano, sabi, it lowers selling costs. Bakit kaya? Kasi syempre, kapag ang isang salesperson is, di ba, minute niya yung kliyente, eh hindi siya magaling. Kulang siya ng training. In short, hindi niya na-close yung deal. Pero 'di ba, sa pagpunta niya dun sa kliyente meron ng nagastos si company like his or her allowance, 'di ba? Yung budget para dun sa lakad na yun. So meron ng kahit na ano, kumbaga kahit hindi na i-close ang sale, meron ng cost na na-incur yung company. So kapag magaling si salesperson sa lahat ng target niyang prospect or leads, na-close niya ng deal, edi mas maganda kasi na-convert niya kaagad yung cost na yun, na-convert niya kaagad into sales, 'di ba? So very important pa din. Doon mo makikita na importante talaga yung training. Also for the, of course, informing salespeople about the latest products and services. Malay mo may pagbabago, may next version, yung kunwari kotse yung binebenta mo, yung model na binebenta mo is meron innovation na naganap, may bagong version yung model na binebenta mo. Di mas maganda na well-informed ka, no? Ah, Next one is obtaining feedback. Siyempre, yun yung kagandahan, 'di ba? Dapat merong two-way communication. As a sales manager, you have to listen also to your people. And um of course, increase sales, basic. Next one. So managing sales training is a systematic process with three distinct phases. So ano yung una? Assess sales training needs. The first step is to identify the specific goals for training, whether it's to improve product knowledge or a salesperson's selling techniques. This assessment should be done for both new hires and existing salespeople. For example, a new salesperson might need to learn basic sales techniques, while an experienced one might need training in negotiation skills. So, training needs. Tignan mo kung sino yung mga nangangailangan ng ganitong klaseng training. So, let's say for example, yung salesperson mo mas parang kabago-bago lang yung sales team mo. So, very important na i-train mo sila dun sa basic sales techniques, 'di ba? Pero kapag medyo may alam na, malamang alam na niya yung basic. So, medyo mas mahirap na training na yung ibigay mo sa kanya, such as negotiation. Okay? So, next one. Phase 2, design and execute the program. This is where you create and implement the training program. And phase 3, evaluation and reinforcement. The final phase involves measuring the program's effectiveness and reinforcing what was learned. So, kailangan i-evaluate kung effective ba yung naging training program. Titignan. So, di ba yun yung part ng inyong assignment, di ba? Sorry. Hindi pala, hindi na pala yun part yung evaluation, but you will create a sales training. Parang more on needs analysis pa lang. Assess sales training needs pa lang yung final activity nyo kasi titignan niyo based on your own experience kung ano pa ba ang kailangan mag-improve sa kanilang mga sales people, 'di ba? So, yun. Next one. So, methods for assessing training needs. So, how do you figure out what training is needed? So, here are some common methods. So, first, sales managers observation. So, managers can directly observe their team's performance. Second is sales force survey. So, you can directly ask your salespeople what they feel they need to work on. Pwede mong tanungin daw. Next one is customer survey. So, syempre, dito naman, kukuha ka ng feedback from the customer. Doon ka naman magtatanong. Tatanungin mo yung mga gaps in your sales team. And performance testing, dito titignan yung skills or knowledge. Ite-test mo sila, magkakaroon ng exams or test yung salespeople para ma-assess yung current skills and knowledge nila. Job description analysis, reviewing job descriptions help identify the core skills required. And Salesforce audit, a comprehensive review of the sales team's overall performance. So moving on to design and execute sales training program, we have the ACME approach. So this is the second phase of the process, and it's often referred to as the ACME approach. Ano yung ACME? Aims, content, method, execution, and evaluation. So moving on to aims. So this is the why behind the training. The aims of a sales training program might be to, of course, increase productivity. Ano yung aim? Objective. Gusto mo bang mapataas ang sales productivity? Madagdagan ba ang sales profit? Bumaba ba yung turnover rate? Mag-improve ba ng customer relations, CRM? O mag-introduce ka ng new product or market or promos? Or improve yung teamwork and cooperation. So, una sa lahat, you have to identify the aims. Ano ba yung goal? From the needs assessment, titignan mo kung ano yung kailangan, di ba? So, from there, kailangan mo nang mag-formulate ng objective. So, next one is content of STP. So, moving on. Next is content, the what of the training. The content for new salespeople, or sales training program. The content for new salespeople typically covers a wide range, which include company knowledge. You need to understand, or they need to understand, the company's culture and history. Ano ba yung product knowledge nila? Ano yung features and benefits ng products? Customer knowledge, they have to understand yung customer needs and behavior. Competitor knowledge, sino ang kanilang mga kakompetensya or other companies that offer the same products and service. Selling skills or sales techniques, the core skills needed for the job. Negotiating, these are advanced skills for more complex situation. Sales presentation skills, team skills, team selling skills, working effectively with colleagues, and time and territory management, how to be efficient and organized. Moving on to sales training methods. So there you go. Now for the methods, the how of the training, there are many ways to deliver sales training. The most common methods include lectures, demonstration, group discussion, role play, case study, simulation games, on-the-job training, and absorption training or self-study. So, tignan natin ang lecture. So, for lecture, these are great for delivering a lot of information to many people in a short amount of time. Parang ganito sa ginagawa natin, nag-lecture tayo. Very effective daw ito in providing an overview of a subject or for sharing information about the company, customers, or competitors. Ano na ulit yung 3 C's natin? Company, customers, competitors, di ba? Or context. Very important. Strategic management or strategic marketing, dapat alam niyo na yan. Next one is demos. Product demonstration. Demonstrations are highly effective for topics like new products or selling techniques. Seeing a product in action or watching a selling technique being used is often much more impactful than just listening to a lecture about it. Yeah, of course, demonstration. Next one is group discussion. This involves the trainer leading a conversation and encouraging active participation from the salespeople. This allows for a more interactive learning experience and lets trainees share their own experiences and insights. Moving on to role-playing. Ito, I think, ginawa niyo ito sa professional salesmanship. So role-playing is a popular and innovative method where trainees are presented with a common situation and asked to act out the roles of the parties involved. It's a way of learning by doing. The role play can be recorded and then critically assessed by a group of observers. This method is especially useful for developing interpersonal skills like negotiating and creative selling. Of course, case studies ginagawa natin. In a case study, trainees are given a real-life business situation with a lot of background information. Their task is to analyze the situation, identify the problems, and propose solutions. The focus is less on finding the right answer and more on the process of understanding the problem. After discussing the case, the group draws generalizations about the lessons learned. And, of course, simulation gamification, similar to role playing but are more structured and often involve decision making over several rounds. Trainees might make decisions on things like sales forecasts, pricing, or advertising, and then receive feedback on the outcomes of their choices. These games can generate a lot of enthusiasm because of their competitive nature, but they can also be time consuming. Pero masaya, diba? Although it's time consuming. Alam naman natin na kapag na may gamification talagang maano yung participation ng mga audiences or ng mga trainees. Okay? So take note of these techniques or methods kasi ito yung ipaplano nyo, ito yung ipapagawa ninyo sa finals, 'di ba? Dapat suitable dun sa nakita ninyong dun sa needs assessment. Next one is on-the-job training, also known as the coach and pupil method. It places a new salesperson in a realistic sales situation. The new hire accompanies a senior salesperson to observe sales calls. Later, the new salesperson handles calls while being observed and coached by a supervisor. Popular forms of this method include mentoring and job rotation. So, um, yeah, sa call center, madalas sa ganito, on the job training, na parang i-observe ka ng, parang papakinggan ng team leader kung yung sales call mo, kung maganda or maayos, and then bibigyan ka niya ng feedback. Pagdating naman sa mga insurance companies, usually, sasamahan muna ng manager yung salesperson, tapos i-observe ni salesperson kung paano siya magbenta. And then sa susunod, si salesperson naman na yung magbebenta and ime-mentor siya or i-observe naman siya ni sales manager and bibigyan ng feedback kung kumusta kung paano, yun nga, kung paano niya mas may improve yun. Next one is absorption training or self-study. Absorption training or self-study involves providing salespeople with materials like product manuals, books, and articles that they can read on their own. This is useful for introducing basic materials or reinforcing previous training. Audio cassettes are also a good format for self-study. Self-study. So, YouTube, parang ganun. Pwede ng YouTube siguro sa ngayon. Moving on to execution or organization of sales training. So execution step is about making vital organizational decisions for the training program. So who will be the trainees? So this can include new and existing salespeople, pwedeng intermediaries, or pwede ring sales managers. Dito naman sa who will conduct, sinong magkakandak, sinong magpapagawa ng training daw. So pwedeng line sales personnel, pwedeng corporate staff trainers, or pwedeng outside training specialist. Outside training specialist, sila yung mga tagalabas. Okay? Next one, when and where to train. So where should the training take place? So the decisions about when and where are also crucial. So training begins the first day of work. So training should begin on the first day of work and continue throughout a salesperson's career. Sales meetings are also a great opportunity for ongoing training. So, take note, hindi lang pala siya one time, big time. Hindi. Ongoing siya all throughout a salesperson's career. Kasi nga, malay mo, yung mga products and services, merong bago, ganun. O di kaya, para lang, may bagong method kung paano, di ba? So, para maging updated din yung knowledge and skills ng ating mga sales people. So, this leads to the next slide, which outlines centralized versus decentralized training. So where will the training site be? When it comes to location, you can choose between centralized and decentralized. Ano yung centralized? It is held at a main location, like a corporate office or manufacturing plant. These centers often have excellent facilities and skilled trainers. Dito naman sa decentralized, dun sa mga branches or regional offices. It can be part of an on-the-job training and is closer to the salespeople's daily work. So dito sa centralized, like let's say for example, sa Manila ka pa magte-train kasi dun yung head office, yun yung centralized. Kung, let's say, kunwari sa parang sa PhilAm Life, so ang head office nila syempre nasa Manila, tapos meron silang mga regional branches dito sa Dagupan, meron. So, I think, existing pa naman ata or lumipat na siguro sila, I do not know. But, usually noon sa amin, decentralized siya kasi hindi ko na kailangan pumunta ng Maynila para mag-train. Pupunta lang ako dun sa office nila dito sa Dagupan para mag-train or umattend ng sales training. Decentralized yon. Okay? Again, kapag nagte-take place lang siya sa regional offices, decentralized. Kapag sa head office, centralized. Execution of the sales training program. So execution is arguably the most complicated part of the process. It involves a lot of logistical planning such as creating a training timetable, arranging for internal and external trainers, making travel arrangements for participants, and preparing the conference hall and teaching aids. So the person in charge of all this, typically the sales trainer, training manager, needs to have a clear vision and persistence to plan both short and long-term programs. So, kung ikaw ay maging isang sales manager, ito ay parte ng iyong trabaho, no? Aware ka dapat sa short and long-term programs. Marami ka palang dapat gawin, okay? Ayan, no? Timetable, internal and external trainer, making travel arrangement, ayan. So, next one is evaluation of the sales training program. The final phase is evaluation, the second E in the ACME approach. This is all about measuring the program's effectiveness. When evaluating, a company must decide what outcomes will be measured. How will they be measured? When will they be measured? So, i-check kung may improvement ba o wala. Kung yung outcome ba ay, kung successful ba yung naging training o hindi. So, yun yung outcome. Paano yun i-measure and when will they be measured? So, steps for evaluating or evaluation. First, determine what should be measured. This aligns with the categories we just discussed. Next one is determine the information collection method. How will you get the data? Third is measurement, which is the timing and approach for the measurement, and analyze the data, and draw conclusions to make recommendations for future training. What should be measured? So what exactly should we measure? There are four components are reactions. Anong reactions? How participants felt about the training. So dapat ito kasama ito sa feedback, After ng activity niyo kasama ito sa training program. Kailangan yung makuha yung reaction nila, how participants felt about the training, learning what knowledge, skills or attitudes they gained, behavior, whether their on-the-job behavior changed, and OTJ results or OJT, on-the-job results, the actual business outcomes, like sales or profits. Tumas bang sales? Tumas bang profits? Yung behavior ba, nag-change ba? Parang ganon. Okay, so yan yung i-measure nyo. So how will you measure it? Ito na yung ways. So of course, questionnaires, like surveys, and surveys to gather feedback. Interviews, one-on-one conversation to get more detailed insights. Pwede ka rin magpa-test to measure their knowledge and skill retention. Yung test, pwedeng written, pwedeng application test, pwedeng demo test, di ba? Ayan. Observation, observing salespeople on the job to see if their behavior has changed. So, while doing it, titignan mo kung nag-improve ba, nagbago ba yung behavior nila through observation. And company data, using internal metrics like sales figures, profits, and customer satisfaction scores. So, after ng training, siguro mag-survey ka sa mga customer or titignan mo kung tumaas ba yung sales, tumaas ba yung profit, 'di ba? Or kumusta yung feedback ng mga customers pagdating sa customer satisfaction. Next one. When should be the measurement methods? So the when is just as important as the what and how. So here are 3 common approaches. Pwedeng after only, measuring outcomes only after the training is complete. Pwedeng before and after, comparing performance or knowledge from before the training to after, or before and after with a control group. This is the most robust method. You compare a trained group to an untrained control group, both before and after the training, to isolate the true impact of the program. O, diba? Galing. So, parang merong pre-test and post-test itong before and after. So, ito after only. Parang after the training is complete, magpapasurvey ka, siguro magpapademo. Yun. Pero mas maganda para makita mo yung improvement, meron dapat pre-test and post-test or before and after. So, pwede kang magpa-demo muna, titignan mo kung ano yung current skills nila, and then after ng training, magpa-demo ka ulit para makita kung may improvement. Pero dito sa control group, ito naman is pagko-comparein mo daw yung na-train na group. Okay? Sabi, you compare a trained group to an untrained control group, both before and after the training, to isolate the true impact of the program. So, dalawa daw na grupo. Yung isa iti-train mo. Pero both silang magkakaroon ng pre-test and post-test. Okay? So, si train, yung isang group iti-train mo daw, after ng training, magbibigay ka ng exam parehas doon sa na-train at hindi na-train para makita mo yung gap. Okay, next one, or yung difference. Next one, framework for sales training evaluation. So this table summarizes everything we've discussed about evaluation. It provides a clear framework for reactions. You are measuring participant perceptions using questionnaires or interviews, typically right after the training. For learning, you measure knowledge and skills with tests or interviews, either after the training or using before and after test. For behavior, you look for changes in behavior through observation. Okay, and the results, you measure performance metrics like sales, profits, or customer satisfaction. So, kailan nangyayari yon? Quarterly, pwedeng yearly. So, that's it. If you have questions, again, Q&A in class. See you.